Sutras. No bell this time. We just come in. This Dharma, incomparably profound and minutely subtle, is rarely encountered, even in hundreds of thousands of millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, hold and maintain it. May we completely realize the Tathagata's true meaning. All right. Greetings, great Bodhisattvas. It's nice to see everybody here on a warm, sunny June Sunday. What is it about starting these things that you feel like giving a weather report? Every week it's like Andre's got to do a commentary on the weather, and now I'm doing it too. So tonight's talk is going to be called Wonhyo Goes into a Bar. There's no priest or rabbi involved, it is just Wonhyo in this case. So Wonhyo is a Korean monk. I wouldn't even necessarily say he was a San monk. He was a Buddhist monk. He was, one of those scholar monk type guys. And, he wrote, I don't even know how many commentaries on sutras and Yogacara and Mahayana Buddhism. Very learned guy. This is a story that you'll probably remember, Gary. Wonhyo and this other monk from Korea, Wisung, I think his name was, they decide, let's go to China and get the real deal. See what these Chinese know that we don't. So they head off to China. This is like in the mid 600s or so. So Amtrak was not part of their itinerary, and they get to the port, and the ferry or the boat in general, whatever it is, can't run because of the weather. It's torrential downpours, just horrendous. So they have to find themselves some shelter for the evening. So they find this cave, and they bed down, and at some point or another during the course of the evening, during the night, Wonhyo wakes up and he's terribly thirsty, parched throat. So he reaches over, and how fortunate for him, he finds this gourd, and it's full of water. So he drinks it, and he quenches his thirst, and it's wonderful. Best water he's ever had. So the next morning, the sun comes up, and they wake up to find that, it wasn't so much a cave that they were sleeping in as it was a tomb. And that gourd that had that water in it, that wasn't so much a gourd, and that wasn't so much like clear, refreshing water. It was a skull full of really brackish water. And at that moment, Wonhyo came to the realization that he'd sort of heard about from the Yogacara mind-only school, that yes, indeed, everything is made by thought. Okay? His perception that this wonderful water in this gourd that he thought was so wonderful at one point, woke up the next morning, realized what it was, and vomited. He really had no more reason to vomit than he did to feel like his thirst was quenched the night before. It all had to do with his outlook, his perception of things. And as we'll see in the Heart Sutra later, perceptions are among those things that are empty. have no, internal existence, inherent existence of their own. So Wonhyo, at that point, having had his basic awakening experience there, that everything is made by thinking, says, well, I don't really need to go to China now, so I'm going back. So he ends up going back to his monastery, and eventually meets up with this teacher. And, he's a very pious monk. Like I said, he was a real scholar. He studied Buddhism in depth. And at some point or another, monks, by the way, just to set this up, monks take precepts. The Vinaya is the historical, Buddhist name for it, the Sanskrit name for it. So anyway, their precepts are basically vows, okay? They're guidelines of how to live. Lay practitioners will take 5 precepts, right? So you've got encourage life, refrain from killing, don't take what isn't given to you, don't steal, encourage clarity of thought, or don't do not intoxicate self or others is the ones I originally took. Don't lie, basically encourage truthfulness, honesty, and no sexual misconduct, right? So that's just like the lay practitioner. So as a monk, he's taken, many, many times more than that. And so his teacher at one point decides that, yeah, I think Wonhyo needs to go into town. So they go down, and Wonhyo's teacher takes him to a brothel. And Wonhyo is like, oh, no, this ain't happening. I've taken the precepts. I don't do that. And so his teacher basically tells him, yeah, you are. So the prostitute, welcomes him with open arms. Oh, great Wonhyo, come in. And so Wonhyo does what one does in a brothel. There's the wine, there's women, there might have been a little song for all I know. But anyway, he, it's said in the story, broke a number of precepts that night. And that's not to say that in any way this is to encourage that one, somehow justify getting with a hooker, getting drunk, robbing her, killing her, and then lying about it. That wouldn't be suggested, but in Wonhyo's case, he had been really attached to his Buddhist identity, his monk identity, right? And part of enlightenment, part of awakening, is realizing that all of these mental images that we have of ourselves, of our practice, oh, I'm Buddhist, so I'm supposed to maintain this calm equanimity in all situations. Road rage ain't going to happen with me. I'm a Buddhist. And then if you do get the road rage, then you find out, oh man, I'm a bad Buddhist. So the idea is part of accepting reality as it is, not as we necessarily think it is seeing that all these mental images, all these attachments we have to these stories about ourselves are empty. Right? I had a teacher once who, I think we were discussing either the Diamond Sutra or the Heart Sutra. I think it was Diamond Sutra. And he asked me a question, so what is it a bodhisattva has to stand on? And, you know, well, this shore, there's this whole sort of, you know, going from this shore to the other shore, using the teachings as the raft, so on and so forth. And I was thinking, well, you know, the bodhisattva is standing on this side of the shore, and he's going to help ferry all of the others to the other side of the shore, because that's what bodhisattvas do. And I was totally attached to the whole concept of bodhisattvas and rafts and awakening and going to the other side and all that stuff. And eventually it came out after some further discussion that the bodhisattva basically has nothing to stand on, right? Buddha's closing instructions, if you will, before he died to the monks, to the bhikkhus, was basically be a lamp unto yourself, right? The teachings are already within you. You have Buddha nature. It's just a matter of, as I like to put it, scraping off the barnacles of delusion, right? Suzuki Roshi put it in terms of, you're all perfect as you are, but you need a little work. You'll get to that chapter, I'm sure, in Beginner's Mind. So that's kind of the point of this. If we're all Buddha, and we recited the Bodhisattva vows at the beginning of the evening, why bother practicing? Why bother taking precepts? Why bother doing any of this stuff? And the reason is that because we all have some sort of number of layers of this delusion, sometimes we are going to need the help of someone else to scrape off some of those layers. Just like Wonhyo needed his teacher to show him that, yeah, piety, that ain't it, right? Precepts, that ain't it. Think of yourself in one way, that ain't it, right? So the reason we do this, the reason we practice as bodhisattvas, is to to realize our own Buddha nature, so that we can help everyone else realize their Buddha nature. And we can go into, you know, all beings or no beings and so on and so forth, but that's for some other time. Bottom line is, how may I help you? If you need a drink of water, I should give you one. And if you're lucky, it won't be coming out of a skull and it won't be all disgustingly brackish. But regardless, we take the correct action in the situation we're in, right? We practice to help relieve the suffering that all these layers of delusion are causing us to feel. So with that, thank you.